This conference will now be recorded.
All right, we're going to call this meeting to order at 5:30 now. Currently present, myself, Adam Lefevre, and Jason, and Julie is on her way. Any public comment? Got none? Disclosure of conflict of interest? Nope.
None.
I need approval for the December 29th meeting minutes.
Which is in the packet there.
It is?
Yep.
That's through.
I guess we're at the one too. I'll make a motion to
There we
approve.
go. One page, that's why, 2 pages. And I will second that. And now we gotta do a roll call. Jason?
Yes.
Adam? Yes. All approved. And then the school safety meeting, SRO update.
We had a meeting with President Eubank and Dr. Floko from the school. They want to do a interview with our officer who is,
Prospective officer for the position.
yes.
Okay.
And tentatively that's set for the 1st of February at 1 o'clock. I have not received a confirmation on that yet. I will,
And basically, he wants to bring in people, other people from the school district to sit in, and just make sure that the candidate we're looking to put in the position is gonna be compatible,
Fit in.
their knowledge.
And that's Jeff?
there was some very minor discussion on the MOU, but nothing concrete, nothing hammered down, other than updates can still be made. And
The revisions were already made to the original, I believe.
From the last time when we talked about it, or some of the pay stuff we brought up?
Yeah,
Okay.
some of those things have been changed. Julie went through and did those. Sent back to Frank, I think.
So nothing major, just
No,
slowly but surely moving forward.
right.
Oh, this is camera. We'll do the body cameras first. Is that what we want to talk about first?
It's kind of an all-in package.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
well, I have given you guys quotes for, updated quotes for 2023,
Do I even want to know how much of a price increase there was?
significant. I gave you both the new and the old quotes.
So why is there 2 old quotes?
There's one for squad cars and one for body cameras.
Yeah, one's for the in-car camera system and one's for the body cameras. So you have 2 for each one, actually.
You'll see that the squad car cameras went from $49,920 to $60,000,
61,096.80.
and the body camera went from $109,000 to $163,000.
What's the reasoning on the $50,000 increase on body cameras? That's
We
it.
got it, we want it. We got it, we want it. You'll notice though that there's a payment summary on each of those. These things don't have to be paid in one lump sum, it can be spread out over 5 years. We are still waiting for the body camera grant to open through a Let's Speak. And we are being told that the grant will open up come January 31st, but they've been saying that since October, and it keeps getting pushed back.
The worst part is this quote you had, not even grants old.
And the number's only good through March.
And the quotes are only good till March.
Grant through state?
Yes.
And all like law enforcement training standard for.
And this has to be done by a certain time, right?
Well, they have to open the grant up first. Our whole plan was to wait till the grant opened up.
Oh, okay.
Apply for the grant, hopefully get the funding for the grant. So these numbers can still be used. It's just a matter of what the grant will allow cost-wise.
Okay.
And full disclosure, we're gonna look at the 160-something thousand, the new body camera quote.
271.
that includes all the storage, all the redaction software, all the cameras, mounts for the cameras, and also tasers,
Annual maintenance too?
annual maintenance as well.
The only thing about that is the tasers can't be included with the camera grant quote, or camera grant, so it won't be, you can't use those costs for the camera grant.
Correct.
So whatever costs is associated with the taser, you're basically buying it as a package, you're buying all
So
systems.
we actually have to buy the tasers. The grants we pay for our camera systems.
Yes.
Correct. And the tasers, just like the body cameras, this is what they call as a service rather than à la carte.
Yeah.
So, I'll just take it. Julie.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello,
So
we're going.
doing it as a service, like you said, will include the
Maintenance.
maintenance and also a replacement. So every 2 years, we can come in and say, hey, you know what? I need a new taser, I need a new body camera, I need a new dash cam, and Axon replaces it. Rather than the à la carte, where we're just buying the equipment outright.
So we're only talking about this now, we're still waiting on the grants to open,
You're just giving us the increase of the,
Right, just to know what the increase in the cost.
which is not on us.
Wait, does it
anyway.
increase cost, did you say?
Yes.
Yeah,
Like how much?
Axon's new, pricing.
about 60,000 for both.
60,000 more
Yeah.
than what we put in the grant?
Yep.
So if you add the two together, then, if you add the two systems together, you're talking 224,468.54.
Originally was what?
Go up that much?
That's,
So they gotta do one.
they got.
60,000 and we budgeted 160? That's almost a 50% increase.
Yeah.
Something doesn't seem right there.
That's taken.
Because
you got-
everybody in Illinois needs them.
Yes, you got all the numbers right in front of you.
And you're talking computer chips, there's still a shortage
It is all
there,
the
so.
same, right? I mean,
Well,
Yeah.
the first couple were, but
Yeah.
Nick was saying that,
Yeah,
car camera
it's all
build out is probably.
it's the same exact equipment.
So so you're saying that you may not even be able to get them this year? So if the grant gets awarded, how much time do you have to spend the money?
Not sure with that yet, I mean, it's
As long
usually,
as you're under contract, I think they're.
Yeah, I think
By the way, you never responded to my email, so you had sent me, or maybe, was it you? You had sent something to Sally, I think, and CC'd me about this camera grant. And it said something about you'll get considered if you already have a commitment to buy it or something, which we
Yeah.
don't.
what I did is I copied and pasted right on the website, the purpose of sending it to you is because I let me keep pushing that date back. So,
Who's
last time I
pushing-
looked
wait,
at,
who's pushing
the
what
state.
date?
I know the state is, because they're changing the way you
The grant
apply.
date?
Yeah,
Okay.
when it's gonna open up. So last year, they kept saying December 15th, December 15th. And then it went to January 1st. Then it went to January 15th.
Well, about January 15th.
Yeah,
is what it said.
they always conveyed to it about that time. So January, was there a new date I haven't looked at?
January 31st.
Okay, now it's pushed back to January 31st. But I went to a conference in Galena before I had surgery, and Paul Petty from LSP says that grant may not open up until May
May of next year?
of this year.
Oh, this year. Okay.
So,
Now, we can agree to purchase, and we can still apply for the grant and pay it back, if you will, by, using the grant funds. We can agree to this quote, which is a lot, and,
Yeah, I wish we would agree to it 3 months ago.
yeah,
For 60,000.
Did I miss, is the grant,
We
you can
get
apply for
grants
it, you may not
to
get it.
look at.
Correct.
We
That's right.
respond For this one.
The thing is you're-
You get the grant, otherwise there's other systems you can buy. It
yeah,
doesn't have to be this one.
right, and that's a consideration because there's so much of a jump on this one.
Mm-hmm.
and
It's getting to the point where it's ridiculous to purchase this system
But I-
because,
Yeah.
and the only reason I push this way with Axon is because Motorola Solutions customer service is garbage. I hate to say that, but it is. I fought to get information from them about billing that we got. And it was just months and months and months. I just refused to pay the bill. I'm not paying the bill till you give me an explanation of what it's for.
Mhm.
And I see that last billing period that I got, that bill's not on there anymore, that amount.
So it just disappeared.
Yeah, it just disappeared.
All right, there we go. That's good customer service.
Oh,
Well, and it's not just Axon and it's not just Motorola. There are other companies that we
Yeah, right.
can look at.
I mean, I noticed that, Cherry Valley Squad had a
GTAC,
GTAC camera in it. So I don't know, does GTAC do a body camera too?
they do.
So that would be the same manufacturer that does our in-car computers.
Which we've been pretty happy with since
Yeah.
we switched over. I mean,
But I guess the question, yeah, we have to understand that grant. Do we have to have a commitment to buy in order to get the grant? You
I
know,
don't
it's
think
it's like,
so. I think,
we want it the opposite. We want the grant
Right.
and then we'll proceed.
Right. I think you could do it either way.
that's how we did it in the past.
Yeah,
Yeah,
which
we
is
got
like,
some
somebody
grants are
clicked
both
and
like
sent to
that.
me in that email. I'm like, this
Yeah.
doesn't read the way.
No.
That's why I wanna make sure before we if we were to spend money, to make sure that if we do get awarded the grant.
Because there were agencies that bought cameras in 22 that will still be allowed to receive those funds in 23. Because they basically
Yeah,
laid
'cause it
out,
said it
they
was a
said if you purchased the cameras by this date in 2022, you could still get grant funding through a certain date in 2023, and I don't know exactly what those are. But the state's fiscal year is, I think,
June to July.
yes, June or July, so that's probably what they base it on. But they keep pushing this date back because they want to open this up, but they're gonna use a new website, it's called Amplifund, in order to do the grants. So you just basically apply through that entity, through that portal, and that portal obviously is not available yet, so we can't even go in and apply.
But this just isn't a wash of yours, they're going to require these, right?
January 2025.
Yeah, we've got a couple,
I thought I
we've
read
got a
that.
couple of years. The reason I wanted to start this now in case for some reason or another, we didn't get it this year, we still apply next year,
And,
you know.
and for a grant.
Yeah, well, and the problem it is, you run across this, and these companies are gonna keep, they know you're required to have, so these prices are gonna keep going up.
Right.
And they know a grant's available.
And these prices right here through Motorola or through Axon are only good through the end of March of this year. So March of this year, it could go up another
Mhm.
percent, who knows?
You're gambling on the grant.
Yeah,
We already are out 60 if we don't get the grant,
well, I mean,
but.
we went this way based on knowledge and use by other agencies, because how well it works.
Sure.
And my experience with customer service through the other company, which doesn't mean we still can't go with Motorola and use their systems. Well, you look at it now, this pricing against what Motorola is now is, was it $5,000 a year for Motorola?
Yeah. It was like five.
We could still fall back to that, if this becomes too large, and I think it's already gotten that way.
Yeah.
I think without the grant, for sure.
Well, yeah, but, I mean, we could still apply for the whole amount through the grant, I mean, there's no question there, it's just a matter if we have only budgeted a certain amount, you know, for this year, you know, so if we get it, we still have to cough up, you know, unless, I don't know how it'll work out as far as the funding side of it, if we get the grant for $224,000.
Well, you gotta remember, we've got to take tasers out of there.
Yeah.
And certain.
Yeah.
Certain things have to come out of this. Did you break down, you just had to see what the breakdown was of taking tasers out of this?
No, I didn't.
I think at this point, you just have to look at some of those other quotes like that.
Yeah,
we just talked
and I'm
about.
sure if we go back and receive newer quotes from them, their price is gonna go up as well, but probably not as significant.
That's true, it's,
I mean, that,
you said it's like 50% increase.
oh yeah,
That's crazy.
Yeah, I talked to them yesterday and they were like, you know, it's going up and I expected obviously a little increase. I did not expect-
3-5% increase.
Yeah, I did not expect,
yeah.
Yeah.
huge amount.
yeah.
And but they didn't have any justification, they just said it is what it is, huh?
That's our current pricing. That's our 2023 pricing is what he said. So I will start looking at a couple of the other companies. Now, like the Axon quote, we have to start looking at car cameras as well because ours are starting to age out. I mean, I think our newest one is 5 years old.
Do we stagger those or do we, Can we stagger them, or is
Yes,
it
we
cheaper to
can.
buy them all at
But
once?
it all depends. If we switch to one company for body cameras and they also offer a car camera system as well, I'd rather us not try to work two different systems.
Yeah.
How do they, what did you just call that, wear out, or what do you mean?
Age out.
They age out.
Age out.
There's a, just like anything electronic, they have a life expectancy. I mean, sure, you might be able to get 1 or 2 more years out of them. But a lot of the companies now, Axon does it, and I believe Motorola's doing it too,
Did you?
is in 2 years, if they upgrade their systems, you get the free upgrade. So which was me replacing all your cameras.
If you're with their,
So that's more of a
subscriber, you
subscription
must pay
service.
it, yeah.
not-
Right,
yeah.
right. They're getting away, you'd be foolish to go with the,
Lease.
well, the à la carte, you know, I wanna buy 10 cameras separate from anything else. If you buy them all at once, they're all integrated with one another to begin with. And number 2, you get that pricing difference, and then you're gonna get the availability that is if they upgrade, or if you have a problem with your system, they'll replace it at no cost. Because you're paying that yearly subscription.
and it would be easier to budget.
Right.
I think.
Right, you could say, you set out,
Set payment versus this happening.
well, this is how, Axon's the same way. You can set it up to where you pay it yearly over the course of 5 years.
Right, that's what the payment
The
summary.
old quote had to break down for each year and what the cost was gonna be. Obviously, the new quote does not.
No, it doesn't.
For that,
In the same exact spot.
oh, there you go, at the bottom of the page. So, the old quote for
Oh, yeah.
was $9,984. New quote's $12,000 for certain systems.
But I'm saying, does that include upgrades like you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh,
that would include, yeah, any upgrades, every 2 years.
So then what happens after 27 in that situation like this? You just
I would guess you have
Be a renewed
You
contract.
have to
or
read,
something?
yeah, you probably have to redo the contract.
So you're leasing these for 20,000 a year.
Yeah, well, 20,000 for the old quote.
30.
30.
Oh,
Yeah, that's.
Depending on which one you're looking at.
What's the second one for again?
One is for car cameras and one is for body cameras and tasers.
I would assume the 12,000 is probably the car cameras,
Correct.
and the 160 is,
Is your car,
your, body camera.
body and tasers.
No,
No,
The tasers listed in here.
yeah, tasers and body cameras are the 163. The other quote is completely separate, and that's for cars.
that would be an accurate number for the cars. This one, you would have to take out, anything taser related. And of course, they don't break that out for you, so what the cost is.
So the grant application is not open yet, so we really can't read what it's asking as far as if it asks for a signed contract or anything like
No.
that. Okay.
No,
That would be the tough thing, you know, they ask for a signed contract and you commit to 180 or whatever the heck this
Right.
is, and then
right.
you don't get
Account
anything,
doesn't
then
cover
we're in trouble.
I mean, in reality, if you were to get the grant at a certain amount, say even at the 160, and you're paying, you know, 32,000 a year, you could break that up and say, okay, we've got 160, we'll pay for the first 2 years or 3 years, and then we can budget for the other 2 years at that amount. I mean, just to try and break it up. Because I don't think you would have to pay, say, we get a grant for 160,000 if we put in the budget. So the grant comes through, we spend, like I said, the 2 or 3 years, you know, 60 or,
We're just
100,000.
gonna subsidize it out of the general.
there's still 60,000 there that's gonna still be left in the budget. But we'll have 2 years or 3 years to budget down the road
Because it'll increase.
for that amount. No,
No,
if you,
the village, us, the general fund would just offset the cost.
right,
So
so
if
if
they
you,
award us $150,000, it costs us $200,000. We gotta make up 50,000.
but it wouldn't have to be until a few years down the road, and you'd only have the remaining.
Or you budget $10,000 extra a year on your budget fund
Yeah.
to do your offset.
On that grant, wasn't that just for body cams or was that for car cams too?
Any kind, either one.
Okay, so the old quote of these two 160s, everything on here would qualify for that, because we've
Except
budgeted,
for the tasers.
Yeah, the
which
tasers,
is a
the
limited
tasers,
expense, I assume,
yeah, they don't break out the cost of what the taser
Alright.
is associated with.
Okay, just make sure I understand.
So,
What do you do with the old ones?
the old are different
See
manufacturers.
that alley?
Yeah. Yeah, and we, like I said, we started this year because, you know, in case something happened, we didn't get it this year, we got next year to get in the time frame that we need. We just have to have them up and running by January 1, 2025.
So how many communities have them now around us, especially our size?
The bigger communities, the county, the city, Rockton, Roscoe, South
They
Florida.
have them on 100% of their officers right now?
Yep.
Cause they got, the county and the city were mandated to have them like, almost like right now after the law passed. So they had to have them.
Oh, okay, I didn't realize.
Because notified X amount of officers or.
Yeah, there's community size.
Okay, so it's our size community that's due.
Right. Because they wanted to get, at the time, the question of grant funding wasn't right out there in your face. It was, they had to come up with an idea. And my understanding is grant funding for this coming year is about $30 million. So,
But
it's
some of
not,
that is reimbursing the big communities that already bought?
no, I don't,
No,
they
for
might
that-
have reimbursed some of it, but I don't think they've reimbursed all of it. But see, that's why we waited a year or so, because you get those big communities, they have to have by a certain year out of the way first. So your chances of getting a grant are improved.
Yeah, 'cause
Can you reapply, so you don't get the grant this year, you wait till next year?
I would assume so, yeah.
I would
But they
imagine
have
so.
not issued the grant yet.
No,
That was our plan, kind of, right?
yeah,
I see.
they had a different system prior to now. The reason it's, I think it's delayed is they started using this Amplifund system. It's supposed to be more efficient, it's supposed to be easier to use and all that sort of stuff. So once it opens up, it gives you all the information. My understanding is a lot easier to apply through this system than it had been in the past.
And looking at the last grant, it didn't look like it was too cumbersome.
No, it wasn't. In 19, Todd Stockberger got a grant for how many cameras?
Two squad
Two
cars.
squad car cameras. That was granted to us fairly quickly, it wasn't.
And all I had to do was go through and for any actionable arrest where the squad camera was used,
You had to log it and then send it to the state,
yeah, it was very easy.
which that might be
I imagine there's going to be something like that.
right. It's just a matter of, prior to this year, were they doing it last year? The storage, redaction software, and those types of things weren't included in the grant. You couldn't apply for the grant to include those items.
All you could was for the hardware.
Yeah, so now the grant is opened up to where you can apply and use those funds for storage, redaction software, all that stuff. They realize that the equipment costs are minimal compared to storage and redaction costs.
So your intention is to apply for the grant when it comes this year?
Yes, yeah, so.
Yeah, we budgeted both sides, the grant coming in and the expense going out, and we communicated to the board that if the grant doesn't come in, the expense doesn't go out, especially a 160 swing item.
Right, no, that was the whole idea.
And I'll reach out to other companies too and get updated quotes. Like we got a quote from Motorola, and that was before we were looking at a fourth squad. And when we were just looking at adding the body cameras to our current system.
Is there a quality level they require?
No requirement, but it's, no, you're not gonna have that. It's probably 1080p, is probably what they are right now.
Standard.
Yeah, and with upgrades, you know, like, I don't know, maybe Exxon's went to a 4K now, I don't know. Their system is 4K now, I don't know.
And that could be something.
And that could be some of the costs that they've increased it to because the quality is so much better. I don't know, there was no justification given to it.
Probably smart, see, that just went off. Sounds good to me.
So the second half of that one, village camera system.
We haven't got anything back. We met with, Mike McKinnon AJ Becker and one of AJ's employees.
Did you send it on? Okay.
Yeah, he was here, so the mounting, AJ basically said it's ever gonna require engineering diagrams that have to be drawn by an engineer. He's out. He's no longer interested. But it sounds like what the public works side was looking for is just how they're mounted on the towers and where their power is.
Unless,
Huh?
I took it different when I mentioned internet service. I had talked to Frank before that meeting. We
Okay.
need internet, high speed, what do you call it?
Willingham.
Yeah, for
Cable?
Willingham, the
Broadband.
line, the highest speed line.
Fiber.
Fiber optic, jeez, we need that out there. They don't have any high speed out in Willingham.
Right.
So he, what's his name?
AJ. Oh, Mike.
AJ, he was much more responsive at that alone because he could make his money back in a hurry off of fiber optic out there. He would run a line, put a repeater on the tower, they get it to there, and then he runs a line over to the,
Yeah, the fiber optic would be over the air, tower to tower,
I'm
and
not sure he's totally against engineering if he gets that as part of it, you know what I mean?
then.
We could see.
There's a huge cost involved in.
Oh, I know.
But the idea was that he's already got fiber at another location. He could send that fiber signal over the air,
Right,
that he would actually run the receiver here at the tower out on Falconer Road, and he would actually run a fiber line from the top of the tower, down the tower, and into the subdivision.
in the
Fiber optic
engineering,
available to residents out there.
I think Public Works, I mean, they get it, small business, you know, there may be some wiggle room there on what needs to be done, because it's not complicated what these things are getting clamped onto. He had examples of that. But it also would give Winnebago an alternative internet just provider for anybody, which I've seen on the community group before where people have been, they don't like, you know, you've got MediaCom on the high end, you got Frontier on the low. This falls in, not necessarily in the middle, it's lower middle, but it's another option. So all of that kind of stimulated the conversation a little to maybe get these guys, because the cameras he doesn't care about.
Yeah.
He's throwing that in on the,
Yeah.
they don't make money on that anyway.
Well, he wasn't gonna make money anyway. It's actually be an out-of-pocket cost for him, but
Right.
he was gonna be able to make that back fairly easily, by adding the systems here. And
The internet part, he wants the internet here.
Yeah.
so that's the whole crux of it. He's getting something, and they also mentioned that their systems would not be in competition with Verizon on this tower either. Because Verizon's cellular
Right.
phones, he is an internet provider, and he wouldn't be competing with
And
Verizon
Does
whatsoever.
Verizon do internet?
They don't do home internet in our area yet.
T-Mobile does.
T-Mobile does, yes.
He showed us
T-Mobile going on 5G internet.
the videos up in Durand, and it was pretty clear.
Yeah.
And you can buy the higher end cameras, yeah, but even what he showed us was, I mean, I think, didn't we talk about license plate you can make out of it?
Yeah, it depends on positioning the camera, you know, they're infrared, so they have night vision and all the cameras he's talking
Right.
about, so.
And that was all part of the cost, but he did at the beginning engineering, if he had engineered just to do the cameras and even the internet, without the fiber optic, he really wasn't interested. That helped, but maybe the engineering can be,
The last part of the conversation was, he was to take some pictures of their mounts and how they're mounted on other places that they're using, and then send those pictures to me, and I can get it to Mike and Chad, and they can look at
yeah,
it.
because you haven't had a public works meeting yet, right,
31st.
since then, so.
I
it's supposed to be brought up.
You wanna see if you can contact AJ tomorrow, and see if he's come up with those pictures yet?
Mike took he took pictures of what'll be mounted on the tower.
It's basically about a 4-foot piece of steel pipe, galvanized pipe, and 2 antennas attached to
Slap
them.
them on, they gotta have them in positioned around it, so to pick up in a circle. But, and that would be both towers is way, I think.
Yeah, I think that's what he said, yeah.
Anyway. That's what I got out of it.
All I got.
Was there anything major on the SRO? I'm sorry, I don't want to.
No, there wasn't. They wanna interview our candidate. They
Yeah,
want-
Frank had talked to me a little bit about that.
Yeah, they wanna have other faculty members, like I think one of the school board members, they want involved in interviewing, which is,
Okay, here's your candidate, maybe we'll have him available
Yeah.
to you someday.
well, I mean,
His replacement.
there's a possibility they could say, oh, I don't know, he's gonna work out, but, yeah, I think it will, but it's just a matter of, they want some input on it too, so,
Yeah, we've got some buy-in, so.
yeah.
All right, how about recruitment then?
I'd like to move to executive for that.
Yeah, we're gonna let the executive session.
Okay.
Monthly crime statistics you have, and they haven't changed since the board meeting, because you have the most updated one from the board meeting.
Yeah, if you look through a couple of these, there's a couple that kind of stand out.
We're seeing an uptick.
If you look at the aggravated assaults, we didn't have any in 2021, we had 5 in 2022. Burglary from batteries increased by 4 for the year. Trying to find the big ones here. Identity theft, forgery, deceptive practice dropped a lot, from 23 and 2021 to 9 in 2022.
Is that just because people don't report it anymore though?
That's possible, or they're going through, the companies that are involved to report in that way.
Suicide attempts.
What's that?
Suicide attempt.
Well, a lot of that, I put that in there trying to lump them all together, it's more mental health calls.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, that's a huge increase there as well. But we're getting called out on those more often. So, and then we're basically getting the,
Co-responder team?
the crisis co-responder team out to deal with those
I
people.
was just gonna ask you, are we trained well enough for that? So there is a team that.
Yeah,
goes out-
CCRT is a team that's made up of officers from the county, the city, West Park.
Really?
Yeah, so if we have a situation like this, where, you know, the threat of, or just realizing they're going through a mental health crisis, we call those teams out, and they come out, speak to the individuals and provide them with services. It's all voluntary, those that have to volunteer to go through the services, but they provide them with, and they do follow up on these people as well, so they saw them 2 weeks ago, maybe they'll come around again and see how they're doing in 2 weeks. So they're keeping up on it pretty well, they're looking at expanding that program even farther. Suspended revolts were down, 8 this year, 19, or 8 last year, 19 in 2021. 2023's been a banner year already this year for that and DUI, so. Just to give you an idea, a couple of things that the numbers were compared to year to year.
All right, Sergeant Ham.
Training for Officer Maggio is going very well. He's learning a lot. He and Officer McWhorter are out there getting impounds for the village and keeping people safe on the street. So they're continuing on, and I think Officer McWhorter is doing really well as a field training officer. That might be something that I'd like to see a permanent move at some point to send him to training for that. Vehicles are all running as they should. Oil changes set for the 2 Fords on Monday. Oh, they're all brand new, so I mean, they should be running just fine. And we will probably start getting some numbers for an SRO car sooner rather than later, because if we are looking for an August target date for the SRO, that car will be fully outfitted and ready to roll.
We don't know what lead time is for squad cars.
Portable cameras or computers or.
Computers, I've got, computers and lights, I've got a pretty good idea. We're looking at 3 months out for each, so, like I said, sooner.
By the end of the school year, we'd have to start placing orders, I think. Or
At the latest.
At the very latest, I'd like to see maybe even March, yeah.
well, then we should have an MOU signed before we start spending money. And I don't know was there much conversation around it, or?
No, just, there are some things that need to be hammered out in the MOU, but nothing major.
There was nothing, you made those revisions, I think that's, Dr. Swoko didn't seem like there was a whole lot out of line. I did bring up about, some of the language that's in the MOU about the officer having to be in his full uniform. I said, can we relax that a little bit, maybe khakis and a polo shirt, obviously still have his insignias, his police officer, gun and stuff like that, but just to make them a little more approachable by the students, have somebody in full uniform, they're kind of hesitant to speak to the officer. I think the, be a more relaxed, more business type casual thing would make it, the kids easier to relate or approach the officer, so.
What do you say about
John
that?
seems to be okay with that.
He came in, Jeff came in, he goes to basketball games once in a while. He was dressed to the hilt.
Oh, yeah. And I would say that for those the best, yeah, because you want everybody to come in and know there's police officers
Right,
there.
right.
Basketball games, football games, but the day-to-day, they're inside most
Yeah,
of the
that's
day.
true, yeah.
Maybe sitting at a desk doing lesson plans for a training class or for the students, something like that. Sitting in a uniform like that all day long, it's just, I wear one when I'm here most of the time. It can get cumbersome, and it's, I think in that position to interact with the kids. I say if he goes to Simon, he's gonna read a book for the kids. What looks better, somebody in a full uniform or somebody in a, just polo shirt that's got our insignia on the chest, his name on it? Obviously, his equipment, like his vest, the bulletproof vest and all that stuff would be readily available. He had to put it in a squad car with him if he went to another school. The idea of, a office for him to work in, we also brought up the idea of, purchase of a gun safe. So when he's at the school, his gun is in the safe. If he's doing something that's, maybe not required, have his gun on his hip, or a rifle up there, they can put a rifle there so he has one easily, readily available, so they have to run outside to a squad car, or come back here to get one. There's one there, that's easy to do, they just bolt something to the wall, bolt the gun case to the wall or the floor. And he said they could accommodate that.
I'm sorry, who's he?
Mr. Swoko,
The school.
yeah, the school, the superintendent.
Okay.
And that's all I have.
All right,
And I don't have a whole lot because, I had surgery last week and I've been trying to recover from that, so. I am in the second leading class this week, the, command leadership. That'll be done Friday. Looking to be released from my doctor completely Thursday of this week. My appointment got pushed back, so, but I plan on being here next week, and then the week after that, I start staff command on Monday the 6th. So I will be out.
I take it everything went well?
Huh?
I take it everything went well, since you're here sitting with us?
Yeah, still having a little difficulty with, well, I've got 4 extra holes in me now, but I guess it's better than one big one.
Like they would say at the firehouse, they didn't fix your face, though, did they?
No, that's, that would have been too extensive of a project, that would have been weeks to fix my face, so.
All right, well, under new business, I know we were gonna talk about ATV at this meeting, and Jason, you sent out the Byron, and I thought theirs was good. I think the bigger question is that the board's opinion is we don't really need to do anything until we get some kind of a trail system, but,
Well, I'd like to revisit that.
well, you can, but.
Well, the thing is I gotta agree both of you. We almost gotta bring it to a vote, a roll call vote, and let the voices determine. Like, whoever wants to say yes, whoever says no.
But I would like to revisit it as what Byron did,
Mhm.
okay, so bear with me.
Yeah.
They made it just UTVs,
Right,
utility task vehicles.
I think we were
what
talking about
stands
that
for.
too.
Yeah, because a lot of people are
Because
saying
people
ATV,
want-
UTV, and they're not.
ATV is a different thing, and that got shown, that you got them Wahoos and Rockford that mess that, they make it look bad. These machines are expensive. adults own them, and therefore you aren't having tearing up the streets, okay? These are like a car, like OHV even stands, Jeeps are included in that, and these aren't much different. They have seat belts, you make them street legal, they're drive like a car. And people just want to go to their neighbor's house and show them off. And what got me is I went back today and looked up some of the minutes and from when this was discussed, and people at the meeting, when you were back in June, that went to the school.
Public
Yeah.
forum.
So there was only a couple people that spoke out against, and it wasn't really against. These are issues that can be answered. For instance, 24-hour police. I mean, we're addressing that. We're trying to get such things, right? How do we control underage drivers? Well, all of that in the Byron ordinance, they have fines here, $250 for the first offense, $500 for the second, $1,000 for the third, and then you can be just revoked. That's a lot of incentive to not do the things that we don't want them to be doing, and just letting the 145 people, Kelly, she counted the petition. There was 145 residents versus maybe 8 people that were at that meeting against. Now, Frank has emails against.
Oh, I have emails, I have people that stop me in the store, I have people stop me in the neighborhood, I mean, it's more decisive than that, but they didn't appear at the, just like.
And
That's
I
right.
think there's some confusion though, with
Much easier
ATVs,
to-
four-wheelers, dirt bikes.
It's much easier to sign on a piece of paper than it is to actually be a forum speech.
So we focus on just UTVs, driven ones, and put off the ATVs for it if there's a trail system.
Do
That's why
UTVs
I'd
go
like
the
to
speed
look at it.
limit?
They can get up to.
They can go faster, yes, they go, yes. 35 mile an hour is what we'd be looking at, because that's the state law that I was talking about. That's jammed up with,
35 unless otherwise posted.
Correct. Maximum speed. limit
yes, that's right. 35 or less though is all they can be on those roads. That's jammed up in the state. Andrew Chesney got back to me and he co-signed, co-signed a bill, but the sheriff's department, the sheriff's association and the secretary of state are both against this. So whether that proceeds in the future, that's going to take a lot of people getting organized to say, we want this. So I'm off that and I'm more focused. Can we do this for these 145 people that did sign this?
Do they
thing?
all have UTVs or do they have ATVs?
I don't know that it says that.
Yeah, and, yeah.
I don't think there was a spot on the.
I know there's one guy, a neighbor down the street from me, in the summer and the weekends, you would see him pull off the street and then head west.
Yeah,
Down Cobb.
Hitchcocks do, yeah.
So, I mean, it's happening.
And I don't think if 10 people in town have them, what are we really, or 20 or 30 or 140, that's not that, they're not gonna be zipping all over.
Well, and I think our problem at the time too is we're so short-staffed and we're not in much better position today to enforce anything that we put on the books. I mean, right?
And that was the other thing. I volunteered already and I'll do it again to do the inspections of them. Whether there has to be training for that, a checklist, I'll do whatever to try to give this a chance. So that it's not on you,
As
Chief.
long as it's very clear about what type of inspections are gonna be done.
And
That was part of it. I know a lot of the ordinance say that it's basically just safety equipment. It's not the safety of the vehicle itself. It's the required equipment like brake lights, turn signals,
that's right.
seat belts,
That's all. in this
headlights, those types of things. We're not talking about
Horn.
the mechanics of the machine itself. That's on the owner.
That's right.
And obviously they have to carry insurance on it. So if there's somebody, a passenger that's in their UTV.
I don't know if you saw the application or read it.
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Name of insurance carrier. Yeah, I forgot to tag you in that, so I did.
I've got it open right here.
I didn't realize that right now, three require them to have an orange or red flag mounted on either side.
That's right, 7 foot up.
apart.
So you've got flags, you've got a slow
You got
moving
the slow,
sign.
like the
I mean,
traffic.
like Byron went all out here. They kind of went, if we're gonna do it, we're making
Does
sure.
that have a date on it when it was, no, you have to give it to me, the date on it was when it was adopted?
2021. It's got 2021-17, so
Okay.
2 years ago,
Just
which is
curious.
about, I want to say last year was the first.
They charge, oops, sorry,
No, you're fine, was it, you charge one?
$100 for their permit for the first time, 50 every year after, 25 if you need a new sticker, say you've lost it. But they put the sticker on the lower right of the rear window. You've got to have 2 flags and we don't have to say all that, but
Mhm.
if,
Well,
whatever it takes.
that's the only way you're gonna
Says
be
it was
able
adopted
to,
on 1/5/2022.
I mean, that's the only way you're gonna be able to enforce that is, okay, somebody rides one in or drives one in on a trailer, rides it around town, we stop them, they don't have the sticker, then we can enforce the orders to say, well, you're not authorized to ride in town because you don't have a sticker.
That's right. They
You
got
know, you have to have
they
something.
get slapped with a fine.
Right.
Well, my question leads into if they're running around town without a sticker, could we have the right to impound it? I mean, that's, I'm asking
I
that
think
question.
that might be a Mary question because it's an ordinance violation.
Just write it, $250 ticket and wait till.
I don't disagree with you, I just was like,
Yeah.
the extreme, like,
Because you
we
figure,
got
okay,
repeat offender all the time.
okay, so if you, and I'm sure in that ordinance, you have to be required to have a valid driver's license.
Yes.
Yep.
So now if you stop somebody that's, their driver's license revoked, I think that would be an easy way to
Yeah.
impound it.
For sure.
I was just looking at like, if you get that, unfortunately, if you get that one that's gonna ruin it all.
Yeah.
You gotta have someone saying, hey, we're done.
Most
Their
laws are written
ordinance.
for a few people.
Their ordinance requires 21 or older.
Yeah.
I agree with that,
So-
totally.
Again, well, I guess your teenage kid could ride it, but yes, they require 21 or
And
older.
is it under 18?
No, I
What the
think
heck?
Valid driver's license, insured with the laws, which I looked up, there was one person
That
at
brought
that
up
meeting
insurance.
that said that they could not get
Insurance.
liability for roads. I called mine today. I'm insured for on pavement, whatever. There are multiple ways to insure these things. So there's.
Well, I think some of that was to that ATV and UTV
Yes,
difference.
yes, we're
So
straddle.
we gotta quit calling it an ATV ordinance, yeah.
That's right.
UTV.
That's
You know what
right.
I find interesting in Byron, so they broke the thing, came 1/5/2022, and on 6/15, did you notice this? They put an amendment out there and said, now we're charging you for violations. So I don't know if that means they were getting violations and they didn't have any weight behind them, so they decided $250 and $500 fines.
I saw the amended history, I was looking for which was that 10/18/60.
It's violations.
The violations.
But
Yeah, any
maybe they weren't
violations of
going
this
getting
ordinance, a fine not less than $250 for the first offense, $500 for the second offense, and $1,000 for the third
Yeah.
offense.
Well, that's where I said, but then we throw the fourth one in there is,
Revolt,
we're,
Reserves the right to suspend.
we're,
right.
that's where I was going.
They even get the make, model, description, serial number,
Right, VIN
UTV, you
numbers.
gotta have it all.
So now is the sticker based upon the inspection, is the sticker the inspection sticker or the sticker based on like a registration?
Right, registration.
Registration for the,
Yeah, because if you're gonna inspect them, wouldn't you want to have some way that it was inspected?
Well, your
Yeah, I
registration, if you had a sticker, your registration sticker will also
So you're
be.
basically gonna use the registration as to prove the fact that the vehicle was.
oh,
Correct.
yes.
Correct.
And they even went so far as to make an application to fill out that, oh, I thought it was signed, I guess.
So it's every year?
Yeah, they do 100 for the first time, 50 every year after.
One thing I would change with that is if they get a different machine, then they gotta start all over again with $100.
I would, yeah.
Sure.
You know, because it's not the same sticker
Again.
anymore, it's,
And we have to find an outlet for somebody to print the stickers.
you just order a bunch of them,
Well, I mean, you wanna have a number or something, I do think, so you know.
they're out there.
Oh, yeah, that's.
See, if you read theirs says UTVs through the whole thing.
You don't have any
There's no
stickers
ATV.
in the office you gotta get rid of?
I've got some bicycle stickers, yeah, we used to put on bikes.
So do I, we do too.
Talking about those red ones in the Lado file, yeah.
There are,
The old
They even
bicycle
have-
registration
you see
stickers?
this?
they're almost thin aluminum is what
Julie?
What's it?
An executed waiver of liability signed by the
I saw
applicant
that.
releasing the city of Byron from liability.
Yeah.
I mean, they kind of covered, this is almost a rubber stamp.
Well,
I don't know how you could get any more detail.
But I think I probably know where that came from.
Yeah. Yeah, I
think so
bet you do.
Huh?
The only thing that I probably would, where was that? Wonder whether because they have operating hours, decibels of use, what was the other one?
Yeah, you can't run one without a muffler on.
What did
Right.
we figure out about the, not being able to use them on, Oneida?
County roads that can't be ridden on, you can run 90 degrees,
You can
They can
crisscross.
cross it, you just can't ride
No.
parallel.
Cunningham Road's the same way.
I don't know, because see, they can be ridden on 35 or less on those roads.
Yeah, but if it's a county road, the county has to have an ordinance to allow
Correct.
Which I don't think we'd have trouble getting.
it. You won't get the county to do that, I won't guarantee you that, they'll allow you.
You can crisscross. You're on perpendicular, but you can't run up and down Cunningham.
And there's still a question of whether or not,
Well, I don't know why you'd have to do that, but light is the one I was concerned.
Yes.
Oneida's that way, yeah.
But
So
Light is ours.
there's just question.
It's a light as ours or not, because that was in the
Yeah.
minutes.
Right.
Yeah,
To
and
find out.
that was through, because there was an agreement that I think the village would take over jurisdiction of
Oh,
Alliance.
I thought you were talking about a light.
No,
So
no,
Oneida and Cunningham. I didn't
Cunningham
realize
were the two
Cunningham
ones
was
that were in
in.
question, I know Cunningham's still a county road because they still plow
But you could go across Cunningham.
it. Yeah, you
and
can
come
go
up
that,
different.
you can go 90 degrees
Yeah.
across, yeah, I mean, you could come across like David Drive,
Yeah,
um,
right, and go up
and
and
go up and around and then cross the
Water
light
tower.
from any of these side streets, yeah, you could do that.
So you think Alida is a village
I
municipality?
believe it is, I believe,
It wouldn't surprise me if we took ownership of it from the state at some point.
yeah, because I think that's one of the reasons why the state,
Because I'd hate to miss out on
because
gas.
the state rebuilt it all and said, there was an agreement that we would take over jurisdiction, because there was a lot of infrastructure that was put underneath the road when it was done.
I used to prefer to do it, the UTVs don't go down the line or past Landmark Drive.
I agree with that.
Which one's that?
That's that
I would,
four-way crossings, that's where
I
they're
would-
coming out of Summers.
You
By
mean you can't go to
Snyder's,
the gas station?
you have to run down the back way. down-
Oh, that's fine.
You will go in, you won't be able to make it to Mobile, you go to, be able to make it to Road Ranger.
Yeah,
I would say they have to stay off of the Lida, that stretch.
and no, right,
Because you're getting too close to 20 with the highway traffic coming on and
Agreed.
off.
agreed.
the semis,
It's
gotta
terrible
come back.
anyway there.
the amount of semis that come in and out of there.
If there were if there was a frontage road, okay, all day long, just like you would use the Canal Park Puree Drive as your frontage road.
Now, you're getting kickbacks from Road Ranger now, right?
Yeah, right?
No.
I'm kidding, that's just what some people will think.
But I agree with that. I mean, have you been at the corners at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the afternoon?
No, it's terrible.
It is
Yeah.
absolutely terrible. Now add in,
Now, what we might have to do is put some, like a sign, no UTVs beyond this point,
Yeah.
Wait, beyond what point? Where would they stop?
Landmark Drive.
Where's that? By the Sullivan's?
Yeah, that's where you want to put a stoplight in.
Yeah.
Now,
Here's,
I've taken that turn on that lot in two wheels many times, many times.
you're talking about signs, are you sure? I don't want to talk about signs.
Speaking of, did we ever get the speed radar thing
no,
going?
not yet.
We were waiting for the weather to get a little bit better.
It's a little difficult to,
kind of
I don't have
wild.
to be out there.
do you want to go out there and dig the hole for the post? Because you're more than welcome. You are more than welcome.
No, actually, one of them can go on a post, it's already out.
There we go.
On the light.
See, Nick?
I found the one the only thing I saw that I don't know if we need is within city downtown areas, UTVs shall not be allowed to park in the park. Shall only be allowed to park in parking lots.
Yeah.
This I went by today, this parking lot's pretty full during the day. I don't know if that's all the time or not.
Is that,
I don't have
I
a
think
problem
that's
with
private.
people parking in
And
the
Are
park.
you talking over here, or are you talking about by the prairie?
Right.
That's Memorial Park right across the street here.
Yeah, this one.
You got a whole lot.
where they're gonna put the,
If we were to say they only had to park there, I think
Well,
there was a lot of cars parked there. I don't have a problem with them going down and parking down there.
this is my opinion, I don't know for sure. the business that's just west of there.
Shouldn't be
using that
parking there, I agree.
For their business.
That's what I
Well, I
wondered who that
believe-
was.
Or it's the one over here that's got employees parking.
We should have the police get on that.
Yeah, verify.
Ooh, let's meter it.
There you go.
Oh, now we gotta hire a meter maid, huh?
But anyway, they have in here that's
You gotta
a,
do
they
so
have to
many-
park in a certain parking.
Yeah, I
lot.
saw
I
that.
don't think
Yeah, I think.
If it's
in
public
our downstairs, yes,
It's
public parking, I think
parking.
H doesn't need to be there, otherwise I'm about, put Winnebago on.
I just wonder if they're worried about them all piling into a spot, and do we care about something like that?
Extras in the same
Yeah,
spot.
I guess, you know,
As long as they don't stick out and
Oh,
interfere
I
with the
see.
traffic, I don't know if that would be the.
I
reason.
guess, you know, it's one of those things, keep in back mind, if we run an issue, then we come and we do an amendment to the ordinance.
Yeah,
You know, that's,
And maybe Byron has some kind of issue with their parking that we are not aware of. And
I think they're downtown.
yeah, I know, I don't know what they're talking
They're
about.
downtown area. Well, yeah, I don't know if they have grass lots or something that people park in, or they're downtown, maybe municipally owned, but not marked as municipal parking. I don't know.
I think they got a lot like we do with the,
They're angled, I believe it's
Yeah.
angled downtown.
and that's why I'm wondering if they're just worried about them piling up like 2 or 3 of them, or how many you could fit in there with it not interfering with traffic. I mean, I have no problem taking one spot to save room for
Well, it depends on
more
the size.
vehicles, but.
depends on the size of that machine, it could be, you could easily get two,
Yeah,
but
is it a two-seater or a four-seater?
as big as my Explorer sitting out there, you know, they're, so. I think Byron has the great plan, the layout that we could
Well, once I
probably,
saw that, I
we
thought,
probably
let's just
could
focus on that. Maybe we
change a
compromise
couple
here.
words in it and make it,
And why don't we take that one, make the changes we want to it, then present to the full board, make a decision whether they want to adopt it or not.
Agreed.
I agree with that.
And the ATV thing can be for if there's a trail system,
Mhm.
like what we started to say.
Mhm.
We don't put that in there at all. I'm
No,
not
it's
saying
just
that.
as UTV,
That's right,
and maybe some
There's no
utility,
There's no
And
reference
there's-
to an ATV in that anyway, is there?
not in Byron's at all.
There's no, I mean, for someone like me, I couldn't tell you what the difference is, but is it pretty clear to most people
Well,
what a UTV versus an
UTV is a steering wheel, an ATV
Seatbelts.
is handlebars.
Okay,
That's really, if you're trying to break it out,
Straddle the ATV.
yeah.
This you sit in like a car,
like a golf cart.
Yeah.
But bigger.
bigger, like a Jeep.
Yeah.
It's not much different than
Now, the guy right here has one, and he drives in his
in the
yard.
yard,
Yeah, I
yeah.
Googled it, I was
See?
looking at some of the
I
pictures.
mean, these things get like $40,000.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're,
Mine's almost paid.
Just so they go to
I do
speed
that.
limit.
That's it. If they don't, they get charged $250.
Driving for under the speed limit, could we put that on the ordinance?
No, because they're gonna have a slow moving vehicle on.
Yeah, we're not-
That's another thing is we do apparently have an ordinance for lawnmowers. I think. I was trying to
It
find one
is, but
about
it's basically based on the fact you're going from one place to another for the purpose of mowing grass. You're
right.
not just using it as transportation.
Oh, you're not taking it down to the.
Gas station?
Store, gas
Oh,
station? Okay.
we've actually had somebody that does.
That's actually in here.
Rubberman, yeah.
It says lawnmowers are not included somewhere.
I want, and also lawnmowers and golf carts, no golf carts.
Right, no golf cart.
no,
They're too slow.
There's no protection in golf cart.
That's
So,
right.
yeah, one person.
because you can buy golf carts and outfit them with brake lights and all that stuff, no golf carts.
UTV only.
So do you, since you're the leader of this charge, do you wanna print this out and do edits, or I don't think you can, or if we can download it and redline it, that's better yet, and then,
Printed it,
I don't know that
Is
it has to come to committee first, if you have time to do it before the next board meeting. you
Is it a Word document or is it a
can-
PDF?
I just downloaded it, but I don't,
It was the petition's a PDF, but the link for the, oops.
Link for the
I can
ordinance?
print, but I don't know what to do from there.
What you might be able to do is get Kelly, have her download it, if it is a PDF form.
Oh,
have her-
No, the
or you guys-
PDF is the application, this is
Okay.
just a link, and I don't know.
Yeah, so
I did print
We'll
and
look
it
at
came out like this, but it doesn't tell me, I don't.
You can
know
get it
how-
in my Word, whatever.
Oh, print. Does this thing print anything? Is it Epson
I cannot figure it
185933?
I think it's that.
Okay, let's give it a try.
I had trouble trying.
Because we could always print out,
Spinning.
print it out, scan it, then we can edit it through the scan, so that's no problem.
We beat that one up enough?
Oh, I'm sorry, this is an HP.
Oh, so this isn't the Epson, let me see.
No.
I was told you have
I'm
to
scanning anyway.
you can email.
I don't
I
know.
don't know how.
The office is using a Xerox, so it shouldn't be in there.
I was gonna bring up a new business, you probably know this, obviously, is they have not, admin has not met for step pay. And we'll move on from there, just throw that out there.
Okay,
I don't even know if there's a date out there yet, so.
I don't think so.
I'd have to add a printer, it looks like, Nick, so I wonder if you couldn't do this, all I do
We'll
is.
take care of it, don't worry about it.
Okay.
You can have this copy. It's the application and the ordinance right here.
But you're the one editing it, right?
We can do it.
Yeah, I can,
It doesn't matter.
but you guys should look at it, maybe there's something.
Like I said, I didn't receive it, so.
Oh, you did it?
I can print it again, I did that.
Well,
No, I do like the thoughts of restricting certain roadways too, and we still don't have all of our answers on what roads they can, but if Elida is an open road, I do like your.
Well, that also brings up, I guess, too, is we also allow uniform speed limits in town. So you don't have multiple different speed limits throughout town with this.
That was talked about with something else, I saw that in a.
Yeah.
Well, the
brought it
ones-
up in another meeting.
The ones are different. I'm trying to think, is McNair, Village Road
I think so.
to the east. How far the Village Road goes up? That's Cunningham Road.
That'll be, yeah, that would.
Cunningham Road's the only one that's 35.
Yeah, but we're not crossing on Cunningham, that's a.
No, what I'm saying is that the different speed limit might not affect it because McNair going west is 30. Cunningham all the way through the village is 35. Now McNair going east goes from 30 to 35 to 45.
That, yeah, right. Out by
So-
Willingham.
Yeah, 40 from, I believe it's Westfield out is 45.
And now what are we saying, that we'd want that
I don't
Because
know.
then the main drag of the light is 30, so to me, we write the ordinance to 30 and be done with it, because then that means all your village roads in town are one speed limit.
Yeah, they are, the only ones that are.
You know, because your ordinance says can't exceed 30 miles an hour, 35 miles an hour right now on those UTVs. Well, there's only really one chunk of road that's 35 miles an hour.
But aren't you gonna confuse, people would have to remember that, not go by the sign then? You're not talking about changing the roads speed limits, you're talking about writing that the UTV can only go 30?
No, he's talking about uniform
Yes.
speed limit, so.
Yes, both.
Yeah, let's move that to another day, can we? That's not gonna get
Well,
resolved.
it's something about even in your ordinance.
Yeah.
To do that, I think, if you were gonna do the other.
Correct, that's why I went,
If you can't
yes.
see it on the sign, you're gonna have confusion. But,
Yes,
yeah, that's a different
yes.
issue.
I don't know if you can, well, you might be able to.
But
Specific speed for a certain type of vehicle?
you would be neglecting Willingham residents for this ordinance with that 45, because that's the only way if you can't ride Cunningham.
Which, they can write, because this village on.
I'd be more worried about them getting on the ferry path and coming into town than taking them there.
Well, anyway, there's only,
I mean,
gotta start
if
somewhere.
UTV can't do 45, that's fine, it's got a slow moving
It's
triangle.
got
on the
your
back of it.
triangle on the back of it anyway.
But they can only be on 35 mile an hour or less roads
Oh,
per the state. But
so they would be able to go out there though.
So then what we would have to do is lower the speed limit over there. to
Well, or
35
just-
miles an hour.
you
Or let
get-
them get on the prairie
Get
path.
there. You get there.
They might get out of it.
That's where you just have to lower that speed limit.
That is true, so that's one part of the village that gets.
That's the only
really-
one.
Yeah.
That I can think of at the moment. Anyway, that could be figured out.
Alright. Number 12.
Tap one.
Hold on here.
Thank you for listening.
I spoke to him and said, one, he's not, one is 42.
Alright, you wanna skip this in case we have something on executive to go
Yep.
to?
Sure.
So skip 12, you wanna change?
Yep, I
Oh,
will,
we don't have to have a motion to go on executive?
Yeah.
Motion to go to executive session.
I'll second it.
All right, all
Roll call.
in favor?
Roll call.
Adam?
Yes.
Yes.
Julie, yes. All right,
All right, let me.
going in at 6:34.
What time?
Or leaving regular session at
6:34.
6:34.